Hey everyone, and welcome. Today, we are diving into something huge that's happening in the European Union. They're proposing a major overhaul to the rules for medical devices. Now, this is all about cutting through some serious red tape, but, and this is the important part, without sacrificing safety. So let's get right into it.
So to really get to the heart of this whole thing, let me just ask you a simple question. Should a basic fitness app on your phone be regulated with the same level of intensity as a life-saving pacemaker inside someone's chest? It sounds a little crazy, right? But the current rules, which were made with the best intentions, have kind of created this complex maze where wildly different products can get tangled up in the same level of scrutiny. But that's all about to change. There's a big move towards what you could call a simpler, smarter path. And the main idea here isn't to just weaken the rules or get rid of them. No, it's about making them more logical, way more efficient, and actually tailored to the tech they're supposed to be regulating. And this entire shift, it really all boils down to one single powerful idea. And that idea is proportionality. This is the big aha moment in these new proposals. It's a simple concept, really. The level of regulatory scrutiny a device has to go through should directly match the level of risk it poses to a patient. So a high-risk device? Yeah, that gets intense oversight. But a low-risk one? It gets a much more streamlined review, you see? It's not about less regulation, it's about smarter regulation. Okay, so that all sounds good in theory, but what does proportionality actually look like when the rubber hits the road? Let's dive into a few key examples from the proposed changes to see how these smarter rules are going to work in the real world.
First up, let's talk about the safety officer, or the person responsible for regulatory compliance. Under the old rules, small companies had to make sure this expert was permanently and continuously available. I mean, that's a huge burden, right? Think 24/7. The new rule changes just one little bit of wording. The expert now just needs to be available. It seems small, but this makes it so much easier for smaller, innovative companies to get the vital safety expertise they need without breaking the bank. Next, device certifications. It used to be that every certificate had this hard 5-year expiration date. And that meant going through a full and often very expensive recertification process from scratch. Well, the new proposal gets rid of that rigid deadline. Instead, it brings in ongoing, periodic reviews that are, you guessed it, based on the device's actual risk level. This creates a more flexible, continuous oversight that just makes more sense. And this new flexibility is a really big deal when it comes to proving a device is safe. Of course, you can still use traditional clinical trials, but now developers have clear pathways to use data from similar devices that are already out there. And this is the really cool part. The new rules are actively encouraging the use of cutting-edge computer modeling, what they call in silico testing. For some devices, this could be a total game changer, dramatically speeding up development. And the list of smart changes doesn't stop there. There's a whole new category for well-established technology that will have much leaner requirements. Simple things like just repackaging or relabeling a product won't need a mandatory third-party certificate anymore. And some devices, like certain kinds of software or reusable surgical tools, are actually being moved into lower-risk categories. Every single one of these changes points back to that core idea. The regulatory burden should match the actual risk. So we've walked through the nitty-gritty details. Now let's zoom out and ask the most important question of all. So what? What's the real-world impact of all this? Why should you and I even care? Well, the potential impact here is absolutely massive. These changes could really spark faster innovation, since developers will have clearer and more flexible ways to get their ideas to market. It's a huge boost for the small and medium-sized businesses that are so often behind the most brilliant breakthroughs. It creates a smarter, more efficient safety system. And ultimately, what it could mean for all of us is better and faster access to new, life-changing medical technology. And that's the key takeaway here. This is a fundamental shift in philosophy. The goal was never to just get rid of the rules. It's about rewriting the rulebook to make it more logical, more efficient, and, at the end of the day, even more effective at protecting patients while also encouraging that next wave of medical discovery. Which, of course, brings us to the final critical question. Regulation in a field like this is always a balancing act. So we're left to wonder. Do these new proposals really strike the right balance between pushing innovation forward and guaranteeing patient safety? It's a complex question, for sure, and the answer is going to shape the future of healthcare for all of us.